Welcome students. Today we're going to cover the midpoint of a segment, the midpoint formula, and locating points on a line. So realistically, the key terms will be midpoint and perpendicular bisector, which we'll talk about, but let's start with midpoint. So the midpoint you guys have should have learned last year if your teacher was competent. So if you have a point A, x1, comma, y1, and you have a point B, that is x2, comma, y2 now, then this midpoint M is going to be a true statement if, so if the midpoint of a segment is halfway between the endpoints, which is to say that AM should equal MB, that the length of AM equals the length of MB, or that AM, line AM, is congruent to MB. Okay, gotta remember that congruent symbol. So we will find this in a pretty easy formula that we should all be familiar with. Now the first one is a key concept, but they're showing it on a number line, so let's kind of skip past that. They do show a real world example with it. Of course, it is a midpoint, so you could just add them and divide by 2. The key concept is the midpoint equals the x1 plus x2 over 2, comma, y1 plus y2 over 2, okay? That is a halfway between these 2 points, for the x and for the y. Okay, so it is essentially the average of the 2 points. Now, that formula is right here. This is for the coordinate plane. Notice it is in the coordinate plane. So they show it with P and Q and the points between. So if we want to sit here and write it down and with the beautiful graphs and everything, you may. I'm going to keep going because this key concept is review at this moment. Okay, let's do a practice problem. So we have 2 points. Find the coordinate midpoint of the ST. So S is -6, 3, and T is 1, 0. So what do we do to find the midpoint? Well, we do -6 plus 1 divided by 2, and 3 plus 0 divided by 2. So our answer should be pretty straightforward. -5 divided by 2. So -5 over 2. And then our y should be 3 over 2. Okay, so our midpoint should be M equals this point right here. Okay, and then they show the graph. They show the midpoint in their diagram right here. Okay, so you can see it. Okay, now there's 2 guided practice. We'll talk about them in class, so don't worry about that. Segment bisector. Okay, any segment, line, or plane that intersects a segment at its midpoint is a segment bisector. Okay, does that make sense? So if I have a line, A, B, and I have our midpoint M right here. If I have a line, even if the line's skewed, this line intersects my line segment at the midpoint, that would be called a segment bisector, okay? Bisect is talking about into 2. So sect is section, bi is 2. So 2 sections. So segment bisector is to divide a segment that divides our line segment into 2. Okay? And so they show an example right here, which gives us a line and a line segment and a plane that all bisect. Okay? So line MJ, line KM, and plane A are all bisectors to line segment PQ, okay? And if you see this little line here and this little line here, it means they are congruent, okay? So that line means it's congruent. Now, draw a segment with the name AB. Let's just do that. This is construction, it's crucial information. So let's dive right in, okay? Okay. Let's draw our line. I don't really care the length of the line. Okay. Draw a segment AB, place the compass A. It's greater than 1/2. Okay, let's just do this. That's not a line segment at the end there. Okay, let's just do that. That's all straight. Okay. So A and B. Now we take our beautiful compass and we don't break it because that would be not wise. Don't tell Miss Proud that well, you can actually tell her. I'm sure I'm not the first. It's not the first time. Okay, so you take your compass and you're going to choose a width, adjust it so that its width is greater than 1/2. So see here, I am going to choose more than 1/2 right here. Okay, and I'm going to put it on B and mark right here, and then put it on A and mark right here, and do the same thing over here. Okay, now notice, you see the X right there? That X is actually going to be our 2 points. And this is for the bisector. So if we take these 2 points, line them up with the straight edge, doesn't have to be a ruler, straight edge can actually be a book, technically. Don't use books like that. Well, actually. Okay. Then we line them up, we draw our line. Okay? And this CD is going to be a bisect. So this is going to actually bisect right here at our midpoint. Okay? And this midpoint is actually the midpoint of both CD and AB. Okay? Now, this construction that I just did, these steps, you can ask me in class. We'll talk about them again. So let's go through one example. Find missing coordinates. So finding missing coordinates is a crucial part of doing this math. My apologies for slowing down there. It is crucial because what we need to do is actually find the coordinates of J if K is this. Okay, so we're going to find the coordinates of J if K is -1, 2, and so our midpoint L is 3, 5, -5. Okay, so what you're going to end up doing is midpoint, so 3 equals -1 plus x1 over 2, and -5 equals 2 plus y1 over 2. So notice we're just solving for our variables, okay? Now they do the same thing, don't worry. So we're going to solve it, multiply by 2, we get 6 equals -1 plus x1. Add 1, so x1 equals 7. And this one, get -10 equals 2 plus y1. So then, sorry, k is the midpoint. That makes more sense. So k is our midpoint. Okay, that changes a lot of things. Okay, so this is 3, this is 5, -5, this is -1, it's 2. It's going to be way different, but we'll be able to go through it. So, -1 equals 3 plus this, so this would be -4. Sorry guys, okay, I'll go through this slowly. Okay, so my problem was K was the midpoint, didn't read this properly. K is the midpoint, L is the endpoint. So J right here is x1, L is right here. So, this is our midpoint. Okay, so looking at this problem, find the coordinates of J if K is the midpoint of JL and L has coordinates 3, -5. Okay, so K is midpoint, so we take -1 and 2. Then we plug in L in and solve for our J. So J is x1, y1. Okay, and solving this out, we get -5, and this one 4 and -5, so we get y1 equals 9. So our answer is J, -5, 9. Okay, the coordinates are that, and let's go to the next